4 weeks had passed since the fall of Rhine. Swift on the heels of their victory, it seemed certain the Buckram would continue their march. Yet, contrary to expectations, they made no move to strike at Almorica. In Fidok Castle too, the Dark Knight's silence gave no token they might quit their fastness and cast their lot with war. The eyes of Valeria watched. Not content to sit by and wait, Hierophant Bulbato set out to capture Almorica Castle at the head of a massive host. In crushing the castle's defenses with overwhelming force, he hoped to minimize his own losses while deterring the Buckram advance. With the Burnham Massif standing as a natural barrier protecting the seat of Galgastani power in Kuritani, any invading armies would be forced to pass first through Almorica Castle. The terrain at his advantage, Bulbato saw little danger in committing the forces of Kuritani Keep to the siege on Almorica. As the Galgastani armies emerged from the Psonji Weald, word of Bulbatos's plans reached Denham.
Chapter 3: Deceiver and Deceived.
What am I to do with you, Barbas, huh? One cannot deny your insubordination. To act without leave of the High Champion is strictly forbidden, whatever the circumstance. Time and again you were ordered to return, and each time you've ignored your orders. Only now do you deign to grace these halls. I am galled.
Galling, yes. The obstinate lout. Go on. Beg forgiveness.
You talk too much, Martin, and I have an ill temper.
What was I to do? Deny the Regent? Impossible.
We do not answer to Branton. Speak true. You learned that the Zenobian Knights were in Rime and sought to do battle. Is it not so?
And what if it is? The Wallister and Galgastani will hack each other into the ground. What more could we want for? You see fortune and call it calamity, Balzaphon.
Enough, Balzaphon. What's done is done.
Welcome back, Lord Commander. Ah, I see Ozma and Oz accompany you.
What word of the Wallister?
We've received reports that they rally on the Psonji Weald.
They think to bring the fight to Almorica in the Duke's absence. Good. Send a message to Volok. Tell him to double their watch to ensure the Buckram, rather, the Regent, does not move without permission.
As you command, sir.
Barbas, I'm sending you to Heim.
But Heim is leagues from the front.
Steady, Barbas. I do not intend for you to serve as a castellan for the Regent, if that is your fear. The Liberation Front has freed Abuna Prancet from Heim Castle.
What?
Those partisan rebels might well catch wind of our true task. Manaflora's whereabouts elude us, and now the Abuna, the only man who might know, has gone missing as well. Barbas, I task you with a mission of utmost import. Recapture Abuna Prancet, whatever the cost.
Yes, Lord Commander.
The two of you are to deal with the Liberation Front. Too long have we suffered them to move unchecked.
On the honor of House Glacius, my brother and I will see it so.
Common rabble. There'll be little trouble.
Andora's search for Manaflora is to continue. You and Martin will keep a close eye on the Wallister and Galgastani for us.
As my lord wishes, so shall it be.
Denham! Wait!
What, Kashua?
Do not tell me you intend to cross the Regania Flats.
This again? The pieces are already in motion, sister. If we do not move, then Vice makes for his own doom in Psonji.
You would match his folly with your own. The enemy has twice our number.
What would you counsel us to do then? Wait here, polishing our armor?
Enough of that, Peyton. The Resistance is clearly unmanned.
I see. First they lose their Duke, and now they can't find their spines. Ha!
Stop it, both of you. What point in arguing amongst ourselves? The Resistance, the Alliance, these are old names without meaning. We are unified of purpose now.
It's as Vice says. If you wish to argue, you're free to leave.
The forces massed at Psonji are nearly the Galgastani army entire. Our scouts report that even the garrison from Koritini has taken the field. Do you understand? The opportunity presents itself to strike at the Hierophant directly. If another means to victory exists, I do not know it.
All well and good if we can reach Koritini, but how do we do that?
There is only one approach to Koritini that will not alert them to our intent. We must advance from behind the keep, from the Brigantys Flats.
Impossible! The Brigantys Flats are a frozen wasteland, covered in snow and ice the year through. For every step forward, we would slide back too.
And yet, there is no other way. Think on it. The Hierophant would never expect attack from the flats. And Brigantys Castle stands alone in that waste. We could hardly ask for a better fortified waypoint.
Oh, the idea isn't entirely without merit.
I've no doubt you're up to the task, Timon.
You'd better be, or we'll be sitting decoy for naught.
Let us pray to the Father that the cold does not wither your courage, hero.
Flee? Now? Don't be ridiculous.
I knew it. You're going to leave me.
It's always about you, isn't it? Well, I've had enough. If you want to go back to Golyat, go. I'll not stop you.
I've always been terrified of being alone.
Avenging our father. Is that not why you fight?
Why should I care to avenge him? He is no true father to us.
What?
I mean, we are orphans, brother. He is not our father. Not by blood, at any rate.
No. Who told you this? It's a lie. It must be.
It is no lie. I overheard him talking about it once, long ago. In all the world, you're the only family I have.
Why tell me this only now?
Because you're leaving me.
Leaving you? Scarce a moment goes by we are not at each other's side. And so it shall remain. I will never leave you.
There is the lie. You have chosen your war over your sister. How long until you cast me aside? Until you forget me altogether?
Never, sister.
I'm alone without you.
Koshua!
New title earned, Leader of Men. Well, not of Kashua, apparently. The title we just received struck down Sir Leonor after he slew Duke Ronway, becoming the leader of the Resistance. Before we continue, I would like to point out that there is a hidden event. I hadn't seen one since the whole Ravenous situation, and I click on this regularly. I always keep clicking on stuff just to get rid of the new icon. Familiar Friends. So I guess chronologically this will take place before Kashua leaves, but as otherwise seems to be a hidden event. The final confrontation with the Galgastani had begun, and the main body of troops were already moving to the Psonji Weald. Before departing for battle, the three friends from Golyat came together once more.
We'll go on ahead. You finish up here.
Vice, can you forgive me?
There's no forgiving what you've done. You were the Duke's hand in the massacre. There are no words for one so low. But a man can repent. You did what you thought best. If I were a greater fool, I might have done the same. End this war, Denim. You owe the people of Balmamusa that much. Let that be your atonement.
You have no right!
No, sister. He has every right.
Farewell, Denim.
And you, Vice.
Someday the gods may forgive you. But I haven't.
Now let's take a look at some of these icons. First off, these two are the same as before. Rime Refugees return and Mount Weobu erupts. Now we have three new ones. Duke Ranway was slain at Almorca Castle while Resistance and Bakran forces battled at Rhine. Close ally Sir Leonar was behind the killing. Since the massacre at Balmamusa, there had been growing concern about the Duke's ability to lead. This ultimately led to his demise. New leader helms Resistance. New leader of the Wallister Resistance has emerged following the Duke's death. The hero of Golyat, Denim Pavel, who acted swiftly to put down Leonar's rebellion, now heads the Resistance. Denim has also allied with the new Wallister Alliance, which enjoys a great deal of support among the people. Galgastani gathers strength. Reports indicate that the Galgastani forces led by Hierophant Barbatos are massing in the Psonji Weald south of Kuretanai Keep. They are likely to strike while the Resistance is preoccupied with the Bakram invasion of Rhine, and the change of leadership following Sir Leonar's assassination of the Duke. Denim. Upon ousting Sir Leonar, who had slain the Duke over doubts about his fitness to lead, he took control of the Resistance. He also made peace with Vice's new Wallister alliance, demonstrating a caliber of leadership beyond his years. Vice. He eventually reconciled with the Resistance when Denim took up its leadership. His might in arms serves the Order of Tran well as they strive to put an end to the war. Aracel. Now that the Alliance and Resistance have settled their differences, she and Vice have allied with Denim. However, the massacre at Balmamusa and the failure of the Psonji offensive caused Judah Ranway's people to lose faith in him. He was murdered through the betrayal of Sir Leonar, who feared the Resistance to be on the verge of collapse. Our ultimate goal is Kuretanai Keep. To do that, our only path available is to go the long way around. Archer buff card.
It's colder than a witch's teat. We'll not find trouble out here.
I'd sooner be back in Brigantys myself.
Quit your griping. We have a patrol to finish.
Begging your pardons, Sir Hector. I weren't doing no griping, honest.
Easy, lad. Who wouldn't rather be home in front of a roaring fire, eh?
What is it brings you out all this way, Lord Commander?
I'm no lord. Just a common soldier, like yourselves. I was ordered to hold Brigantys, and this I have done.
You were ever a loyal follower of House Orlando. Still, a man like you serving under Zabos, it's a disgrace.
I'll string you from the gallows myself if you speak of the High Commander like that again.
Well, of course. Forgive me, sir.
A knight's first duty is to liege and kingdom. My father, Sir Brian, taught me this, and his father, Sir Cornelius, taught him. Perhaps you think these age-worn vows bind us, but it is in times such as these that their true worth becomes clear.
Forgive me, Sir Hector. I spoke out of turn.
Rouse yourselves! The enemy is upon us!
I didn't think to encounter Galgastani scouts so far afield.
We haven't come all this way for naught, then. To arms!
Hector has 2 dialogue entries or lines here. This is our first take. Hopefully Denon does not execute Hector here and now. The general requirement to get to the opponents to speak will either be their health, but that seems to be less of a thing these days, and more about how many soldiers they lose.
I am Hector de Daro, son of Brian, Knight of Galgastan. Speak your name, Wallister.
I am Denon Pavel, and I am here because I fear for Valeria's future.
The Butcher of Golyat. Your infamies precede you. You're to be commended. Few Wallister have tread so deep into these lands. But you'll not reach Brigantys on our watch.
In the back there is a beast tamer, a new addition to our team. Her name is Boro, named after subscriber Jeremy Boro. She was originally a witch that we recruited during the siege on Amorica Castle, and then we immediately classed her out into a knight to increase her vitality and hit points until she was level 50, at which point she became a beast tamer. Mostly because of her water element, and at this time I only had the one beast tamer in the form of Reginald the Hawkman. There was a warlock that we also hired, who will be introduced in a later party.
Your hand is unsteady, Denim of Golyat. Is it knowledge of what you've done that weighs on you? Or knowledge of what you will do?
Who are you to question me? How many have you slain, creature of Barbatos?
Fair enough. Only think not that all of Galgastan's knights gloried in doing as we were bid. Duty, honor, loyalty. A knight is nothing without these. I could not break the oath I swore to Galgastan.
Then cast down your sword and surrender. It's Barbatos we're after.
No matter how futile my struggle, I'll never surrender. I will not break the vows I swore to my kingdom. I will not bring disgrace upon my house. Fate ordained our meeting. To do less than fight to the end is to dishonor those who've fallen.
Now that we have the dialogue, it is okay to put down Hector like the loyal dog he is. Thanks, Donato. Well, I guess it doesn't matter anymore that Denim only has the one target, so it didn't need my interference at all. It's literally faster for me to select AI than to try to click away for an angle for Thunderbird.
The tide turns. We withdraw! I'll be waiting for you at Brigantys Dissidents.
Let's take a look at our Warren report. Sir Hector encountered the resistance while patrolling the Madura Drift. A battle ensued, but Hector withdrew to Brigantys Castle after seeing he was grossly outmatched. For Brigantys Castle, the rewards are basically the same, but we get better dialogue going to the west because this introduces us to a new character. To the east is Kakarinos, who we have encountered before in a previous playthrough. The last time we went to the west, we encountered Orjo, who we also found in Golyat on the neutral path and in Western Wall on Chaos path. In this case, actually we won't see his name here. In this case, we will see a new dude. His name is Bingham. This is not any of the rewards we want, so we actually will restart this section and try again. Rewards essentially don't matter too much, but I want you to be able to, if you're playing along, re-roll the bonus objectives and get a sizable prize. Buff card, that's the one we need. For that bonus objective, we get a Dust Orb. This one is better than the other one in that we get experience charms we can take with us, rather than have an archer in our team and get 800 experience. So this is the best, but really the only one I cared about was Dust Orb. Alright, our opponents this time will be air, so we will need some ice units. And just slap down Gildas, and I think that'll be enough for everybody.
The wheel turns against you, Denim of Golyat. None have faced Bingham, Lord of Slaughter, and lived to tell the tale. Curse the gods or curse your sorry self, for your luck has run dry.
This is Diego, named after Scriber Diego Phil. He was originally a warlock, but I thought it'd be more useful to turn him into a wizard. While he may suffer maybe a 5-point loss in intelligence, he gets better RT management as a wizard. However, early in the game, when you unlock warlocks and witches, it's pretty good to go ahead and turn them into it, because those attribute points can really pay off, especially when you add books on top of it. But by this point, I have intelligence boosting staves, expensive RT spells, and my attributes are already potentially modified by any other equipment I might possess. Now, bringing Canopus and Zapan will be useful on this map to extract additional dialogue with relation to Bingham. However, I noticed that there was no auto-ducking when it came to the music. Ducking, or auto-ducking, is a term, if I understand correctly, that is used when it's describing one track, in this case our music track, lowering its volume when it hears a second track, in this case our voice track. Now, I did increase the volume of different sound effects styles. There's system, mouse over. I think mouse over to 0. I think I kept it that way since the first episode. Voices, music. There's about 4 to 5 different volume wavelengths or tracks or whatnot. And I did increase them a bit, as well as increase my microphone volume, because I noticed that during, I think, the episode 41, a lot of what I was saying was getting cut off by my microphone, so I upped the things up a little bit. I think, with Windows patching and OBS patching, I think at some point my volume from a microphone kept decrementing.
Oh man, this squawking mercenary who he says he is.
Bingham, not a name I've heard. And I Commander Gattialo's the one they called the Lord of Slaughter, last I checked.
Mayhaps the mercenary thinks a flowery title will raise his fee.
Of course, were he telling the truth, there'd be no witnesses to it. They'd all be dead.
You think too much. I say we gut the buzzard and prove the lie.
I see you saved the sharpest tongue for your own winged one.
But yeah, I hope increasing the audio gives you a better experience. And I hope that it's not too loud. I'm aiming for a range between -5 decibels and -15-ish. Earlier, I was looking for a range between -20 and -25 or so. But in this case, I don't believe that the auto-ducking here, or lack of it, had anything to do with my volume changes. At least I don't have any reason to believe it would. You don't generally get to see Mother's Mercy take effect. In fact, I feel like that might have been the very first time it's ever happened. And only because Donato apparently decided he wants to be next to the Cyclops, who probably howled or something and debuffed him. Generally, the AI is incapable of figuring out how to use debuffs, so if it's not an auto skill or a side effect of a spell or an attack they're doing, you generally won't see it. So even if a dude had, for example, a sleep spell equipped, he's never going to cast it. Now, I hope that in a later patch they will eventually fix that, but by then I imagine nobody's playing the game anymore. Okay, it's okay. It seemed it was frozen there for a while. Sometimes that happens. Probably Bingham right there in front of us.
This goes poorly. Why does the keep not march?
For a Lord of Slaughter, I dare say you'd have trouble defeating a side of pork at the breakfast table.
Watch your beak, or I'll clip your wings, Birdman.
Birdman? I'll stuff a pillow for my weary arse with your feathers.
The pot's calling the kettle black, if you ask me.
So initially I thought there was no voice line for Ken upstairs, so I started to say it myself. That's because of my editing. I can easily remove that and you won't hear us overlap. Yeah, I guess this map just wasn't play tested or something. So there was definitely auto-ducking in the music there, but his voice line had a great long pause before it. That's not at least I don't think it is, that's not an error on my part or my computer's part. If you saw my Dead Space video, you know that if my computer is at fault, I'll go ahead and point it out, but in this case I don't think it was. Alright, so now we can put an end to Bingham. That should be all the dialogue. Yeah, sure, go ahead.
A nobler death I deserved.
I guess he did not appreciate getting hit to death by a harp, of all musical instruments.
But the Wallister have already breached the gates! We must send a rider to inform Coritini.
Do that, and you sign your own writ of execution. His Eminence tasked us with this castle's defense. By the honor of House Didaro, we will defeat these interlopers and stop their advance here. Or have you lost your courage so soon?
Our dungeon holds scores of men who want nothing more than to see Galgastan fall. Should they join forces with the Wallister?
It shall not come to pass. We won't allow it. Consider that our enemy has fought across harsh, unfamiliar terrain outside our walls. They are fatigued. We will draw them inside the castle and finish them. Did you not wonder why I kept our forces from the field? Do you understand nothing of what I say?
House Didaro has never fallen short of its word. My son, Hector, will not see it do otherwise now. If you are a knight of this house for true, you will follow your liege's orders with all due obedience.
Yes, my lord.
By your leave, father.
You have it, and the pride of House Didario as well.
Praise of which I am unworthy, in truth.
No, it is I who should apologize. I'm sending you to your death.
You do not understand, father. This is the opportunity I've long awaited. How many times I spoke of dedication to my land, my people, while my heart pained with every word. I could ask for no clearer sign than the Wallisters' arrival here today. I was meant for this.
Doubtlessly, They seek to take this castle and use it to launch an assault upon the weakly defended flanks of Coritini. You see, this is their main force. The rabble at Psonji are no more than a feint. A clever, if reckless, stratagem. And yet, this may just give them a hope of toppling the Hierophant.
If it will mean an end to this conflict, then my life is a small price to pay. The castle is yours, Father. I leave her charges, Galgastan, in your hands. I am needed below. Know this. The honor of House Didaro will not falter this day.
Our honor is greater for your sacrifice. Godspeed.
I have a lot to say about Sir Hector here, but first let's take a look at the Warden Report. There is nothing for Bingham that we just killed, but there is one for Briam the Elder, who is Hector's father, the former head of the Didaro family, and father to Hector Didaro, who defends Brigantys Castle. House Didaro's lineage traces back to Count Orlando, Courtenay, a noble of note. They also share a bloodline with the Lord of Courtenay, current King of Galgastan, and have won the respect of many fellow citizens. Alright, this is my third take. The first take, Cannabis got 2-shot by Hector. And the second take, we killed Hector too fast. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna brain dead this because I don't want to keep doing this fight. So zombies, in you go. And we'll pick this one. Oh, we have a lot of winged zombies. All right.
You've come a long way to die, Denham. You'll find these walls will not yield to you easily, nor will they offer up her prize without a fight.
What prize?
Those enemies of the Hierophant who languish in her dungeons. You mean you're not here to rally them to your cause? Then why? Well, no matter. The dead seldom accomplish much of note.
A victory here might gain us more than a strong base for an attack on Coritini. An alliance with those Galgastani who turned against the Hierophant could well lead to a lasting bond between our clans.
Denham has been changed to a complete support unit so that he also does not overwhelm Hector with his awesomeness. Okay, so Hector, until this playthrough, I thought he was kind of a stand-up guy. However, he's, at this point, ordering his subordinates, those who trust in him, to lead them to greatness, or just lead them and have their safety and well-being in mind. He's leading them to their deaths. I'm not saying that he's going to lose the fight because he's outmatched. I'm saying that he is deliberately choosing to be a martyr because he doesn't want to go against his oaths of honor and all that. Fine. If you want to do that on your own, that's fine. But when you're telling the people who you have their trust, and you betray that trust in this way, it's not cool with me. None of these deaths are necessary. Hector could have at any point said, "You all surrender, I will go offer my head to the enemy," or something. I mean, anything. Anyways, I'll just let the zombies speak for me as they tear Hector limb from limb. The enemy cleric does not possess exorcism, so there's literally nothing they can do. Well, I guess they could knock out all my zombies at the same time. But I sincerely doubt that would ever happen. Enemy is in no way ever going to coordinate something like that. To that effect, I think it would be in the interest of game balance if a enemy unit could go up to a stilled foe and then did some sort of special action that resulted in the stilled timer going back to 3. Not even an attack action. It could just be a regular, like the same thing you do when you're powering up Tremendous Shot or you're trying to recruit someone action. I don't know. But I think that would be a lot better than the way it is now. Because your AI and the enemy's AI have no idea how to deal with zombies. You may say, oh, well, Tran, you just bring in some clerics with exorcism. Yes, but only if that's the only thing they can do. When I bring in clerics with exorcism, you have to get rid of their heal spells. Otherwise, they will attempt to heal the enemy zombies for 50 damage instead of exorcise any of the ones already on the floor. So I think if they have trouble maybe figuring that kind of stuff out, enable an option that says like, hey, you can prolong the enemy's stilled condition effect. I think that's a really good option just in general. And it makes sense. Maybe the zombie's rebuilding himself back together somehow or whatever. It makes sense that stomping his head in again is going to keep him from regenerating or whatever is supposed to be happening. Now that being said, they probably will never add something like that because I imagine they're trying to also maintain authenticity to the original game without changing things too drastically. Alright, so Hector has some dialogue, but we need to kill off enough of his people before he starts yapping.
I see your plan. You've drawn our lines off to Psonji in order to strike at Corytonai's undefended flank.
True enough. For what good the knowledge will do you. You're finished, knight. Your castle will be ours. Bend the knee to us, and we'll spare your life.
You dishonor me by the mere suggestion, Butcher of Golyat. I am a knight of Galgastani. You will not take this castle while I yet draw breath.
Something about this rings false.
What's wrong, Denim of Golyat? Do not tell me the Butcher hesitates to draw blood. You and I are foes. Of this there is no doubt. One of us will triumph here, and the other will be cast into the abyss. Now, come. Show to me the quality of a hero among Wollister.
I believe that's all the dialogue. Time to wrap things up. Yeah, that's the reason why he can two-shot Canopus. Oh, come on. That would have been a nice touch to have his own unit shoot him in the head.
It ends. The castle in your hands, Father.
When all else fails, throw zombies at it.
In the name of the armies of Galgastan, I, Briam Dodaro, surrender this castle to you. What defenders remain have already thrown down their arms. I beg you, take their freedom, not their lives.
You're not the first Dodaro I have met this day.
You slew my son, Hector. But I do not weep. He died in utmost service to his sovereign, and with bravery in defense of our house's honor. The men and women behind me are those whom the Hierophant imprisoned here for treachery. You requested them brought here, and I have done so. Yet my clansmen, they remain. Tell me, Wallister, are these enemies of the Hierophant your enemies as well?
If you pick one, you get a suboptimal reward. Basically, you get nothing. But if you pick two, you not only get this Red Dragoon, but you open the way to recruiting Ravenous. So we will pick, how could they be?
What wrong have they done us? We are not the resistance of old. Our quarrel is not with the people of Galgastan. The generations-long conflict between your clan and ours never was. Always it has been men with power, men such as the Hierophant and the Duke, who throw their people at one another to further their own ambitions. It is not the Galgastani who must answer for this bloodshed. It is Balbatos and his ilk.
Springtime words from the mouth of a youth. Let us pray to the Father that they remain true through the winter to come. What will you do, Yunan?
I am inspired to throw my lot upon the wheel and trust this Wallister.
I see. Denim of Golyat, this man before you once aided the Hierophant in his blood war against your people. Yet he knows now the error of his ways, and seeks to atone. Allow me one request. Take him with you. Give him his chance.
If he has sinned, then my sin is greater still. I bear him no enmity. You are welcome to join us, Yunan.
Thank you.
Yunan wants to join the party. New title earned, Man of No Illusions. Titles. Man of No Illusions. Told the Galgastani you met at Brigantys Castle that the people of Galgastan were not your enemy. And I always select Butcher of Golyat, so that way if anybody's jumping around in playlist, they'll know that this is the Butcher of Golyat playthrough. This is one of the two requisites, the other being free or complete crit and I keep. So even though we can do this talk right now, that's not enough to get the battle. You must do this and clear crit and I keep. So we'll do that once the time comes for that. Let's go to people. Come on, I'm clicking. All right. The Worm Knight Yunan, a Galgastani from Rime who once led the Worm Knights of the Kingdom of Galgastan. As Hierophant Balbatos' right hand, he was a principal agent in carrying out the Blood War. He later joined those opposing the Hierophant, troubled by the acts he had been made to commit. After meeting Denim at Brigantys Castle, he saw in him a kindred spirit. Since then, he has fought for the Resistance. Briam the Elder. Briam was pained by what his homeland had become under Hierophant Balbatos. Hearing that the Wallister Resistance were on the march, he freed the enemies of Balbatos imprisoned at Brigantys Castle. He battled the Resistance again at Brigantys Keep, but did not survive the attack.